Good afternoon and welcome to How to Manage Petty Cash with Odoo Accounting. Again, my name is Ananda Mandalihan, isa ako sa mga business advisors for Asia Pacific here in Odoo. Here's my email address, mlh@odoo.com, if in case na may mga questions kayo related to Odoo or even this presentation. So, ano bang agenda natin for today? Una sa lahat, i-discuss natin what is petty cash. Ikalawa, how to do your petty cash accounting. Ikatlo, I'll show you some ways on how to handle petty cash in Odoo. Ikaapat, common issues in terms of petty cash handling in the Philippines. At ang ikalima, Q&A session. So, before we begin with this part, sa audience natin na meron tayo ngayon, do you guys know what petty cash is? Or na-encounter nyo na ba siya before? Can you type 1? Okay. So, what is petty cash? For those who are not familiar with petty cash, ito ay usually yung small amount of money na iniiwan natin sa company premises natin to pay for minor cash needs. For example, ang typical na na-encounter ko sa mga clients ko sa Philippines would be mag-i-issue sila ng pera sa custodian nila sa office, and then kapag let's say merong Grab na delivery sila, let's say related to the samples na i-deliver nila, or meron silang ipapadala sa kanilang mga suppliers or sa kanilang mga customers, they would use that petty cash amount if in case na wala yung kanilang accountant or wala yung may-ari ng kumpanya in the premises. So sa Philippines, ang common scenario is issuing a certain amount of cash to our employees, and then saka sila magpro-provide ng resibo for accounting team to track the spent amount. So, paano ba natin ginagawa ang petty cash accounting? Specific to the Philippines. Usually, ang scenario would be, I'm not sure if you guys na-try nyo na siya before, pero usually, meron tayong papel na ginagamit for petty cash voucher system. Ito yung nabibili natin usually sa bookstore if in case na kailangan na mag-release ni accounting or ng cashier ng pera for the petty cash sa ating mga empleyado. So usually, diretso lang yan Papel lang siya, may description, and then merong amount ng petty cash na i-issue. So from there, kapag in-issue na siya dun sa ating staff or sa ating empleyado na nangangailangan ng petty cash na yon, ang pag-record natin sa kanya is we record in the cash journal, or usually minsan nilalagay pa rin siya sa ating bank journal directly with a credit, okay? Saka natin naman nilalagay yung debit account sa ating petty cash account. So we do the cash out from cash journal and issued as petty cash drawer or directly to an employee. Pagkatapos, kung meron ka ng petty cash money, okay, so may petty cash ka na, ibabangga naman natin to ngayon dun sa ating mga expenses. Let's say this is related to office expense. Magbibigay sila usually ng on-paper na resibo. Okay, ito yung ginamit namin, boss. 500 pesos siya. So from that petty cash na meron tayo, maglalagay tayo ng credit na 500 and then debit na 500 din. So, sa ngayon, ipapakita ko naman sa inyo ang demo natin with regards to petty cash handling in Odoo. Meron akong dalawang ipapakitang demo. Una sa lahat, this is something that I would say favorite ng mga accountants natin sa Philippines. Mas preferred kasi nila usually yung one go na nakikita nila lahat, and they want to see the movement of the petty cash actually, kung paano siya ginagamit, saan siya napupunta, in a very ledger type entry. So this is more manual in that sense. Ang ikalawa naman is more of reconciliation yung proseso niya. So basically, ginagawa nilang hanging yung petty cash or suspense, and then kailangan lang nilang malaman kung saan pumunta yung pera. So pumunta tayo dun sa unang part, which is yung favorite ng ating mga accountants, kung may mga accountants dyan. Okay, so let's move it to the next. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so typically this is how your Odoo database will look like. Okay, so ang scenario natin ngayon, meron tayong i-issuing pera kay employee C. Si employee C ngayon ay pupunta kasi ng Batanes. Pagpunta niya ng Batanes, syempre gagastos siya doon for client visit, etc. And then saka ngayon niya ibabalik sa atin yung resibo na nagamit niya for that specific trip. For example, So paano ba ito i-layout in a petty cash perspective? Usually, we will have, again, petty cash voucher system. So what you're gonna do for that one is pwede natin gamitin ang approvals app ni Odoo for it. So for the approvals app, nag-set up ako ng isang approval process specifically for petty cash voucher. Again, this is an option for you guys. If in case na mas sanay kayo pa rin sa paper, pwede pa rin naman natin siyang gamitin at gawin yung ating proseso on paper. But if you wanna go paperless, which is, ito na yung trend usually ng sa Philippines as well, sustainability, you can use this application to do the petty cash voucher process. Okay. So let's say, si employee C, magre-request siya. Okay. So isang view lang gagamitin ko for this demo, but we can do it into views as well. So si employee C, magkakaroon ng approver. Ako yung approver ni employee C for this request ng petty cash voucher. We can select the date, okay, and then yung contact. So ito si employee C. Let's say meron ng specific amount na naka-allocate talaga for this type of trips, okay? For example, yung Batanes trip nga. So let's say 4,000 yung i-issue natin kay employee C. What he can do is basically submit this and then pwede ko siyang i-approve on my end. Pwede tayong maglagay ng 2 levels or 3 levels of approval if in case na may approver ka for the management side and then approval then for the accounting side before they post this record. So in this case, one stage lang muna tayo. From here, i-approve ko na siya kagad. Once approved, ang gagawin ko is i-record ko siya sa aking accounting app. Okay, so from here, tignan natin yung setup ng ating petty cash journal. So, ito yung sinasabi ko na separate yung petty cash journal natin from the typical cash transactions. So, nilagay natin siya under miscellaneous. As you can see for this configuration, ito, nandito siya sa miscellaneous type ng journal entry. And then what we can do is we can actually record an entry for getting money from the bank. Okay, so we credit, let's say, 4,000 from that request. And then, ilalagay din natin yung petty cash, kung magkano yung napunta kay petty cash, which is, dito sa case nito, bank credit 4,000, and then petty cash debit 4,000. Okay? Para mapadali yung proseso natin, and then we can monitor, kasi basically sa Philippines, ang na-encounter ko is, okay, Ananda, we can actually manage our petty cash eh. Kaya naman namin siyang i-monitor. Ang problema, minsan hindi namin na monitor kung kaninong staff namin siya ini-issue. Or minsan, kanino pa ba yung hahabulin namin ng mga resibo. So in this case, useful dito na gamitin yung partner field and yung labeling natin for this one. And then if in case na may mga multiple projects na related to this process, we can actually use the analytic distribution for it or yung analytic accounting natin. So, select natin kay employee C. So, si employee C yung bibigyan ko nung 4,000 na petty cash. And then, I'll write down, ang request niya is for client visit Batanes. So, I can just copy that one. And then, as you can see in our analytic distribution, ang kagandahan nito, usually, ina-advise ko siya sa mga clients kapag may mga multiple projects na pupuntahan yung account na yon, pwede natin siyang ilagay both and then just separate it through the percentage na gusto nating mapunta dun sa mga account na yon. In this case, let's say, lahat ng administrative, yung petty cash natin, nilalagay natin siya lahat sa administrative center natin or cost center natin. So for this one, I can just post this directly. So once posted, ito yung makikita natin pagdating sa ating reporting or accounting journal items. So, makikita natin dito, may journal entries tayo for bank, for employee C. Okay, for easier view, I can just select the partner and then makikita ko kaagad. So, dito, from bank, okay, credit and then petty cash, debit na 4,000 for client visit to Batanes. Ngayon, okay, so a couple of days have passed and then ngayon magbibigay na ngayon ng resibo for liquidation itong si ating employee C. There are two ways kung saan natin pwedeng idikit yung resibo na yon. Una sa lahat, we can actually make use of yung approvals record na ginawa natin kanina just to record yung resibo na related to this one. Typically, ina-advise ko siya kasi kung i-monitor mo yung lahat ng related to that petty cash voucher, it would be easier to see it in one go. Makikita mo siya kaagad sa iisang, kumbaga, transaction lang. So, you can make use of the log note or this one and attach. Let's say, mag-attach lang tayo ng random na logo. So, let me just check if pwede ko itong i-attach. Okay. Yan. So, for example, ito yung resibo natin. I-attach natin siya. And then, from here, we can process the liquidation then as well sa accounting app natin. In this case, i-record natin yung movement from the petty cash. Credit, let's say, 4,000 yung naubos niya. Binigay niya lahat ng summary ng mga records na meron siya. And then, pwede nating i-allocate sa specific accounts yung ginastos niya. So, let's say, yung iba would be for his meals. Nagastos niya is 2,500. And then, yung iba is other allowance niya. So, 1,500 yung remaining. Nasaan yung other allowance? Dito. Yan. So, makikita mo nag-balance out siya. And then, we can add the references. Again, pwede rin natin ilagay yung employee name or partner record. Okay, from here. And then, we can also write down yung label. So, again, to indicate lang kung saan ginamit tong petty cash process na to or petty cash account na to. So, client visit to Batanes. So, labels is mainly just to indicate para ma-monitor natin kung saan siya ginamit. And then, we can also use yung administrative. Pwede mo rin siyang split. Depende kung, let's say, binisita rin niya sa Batanes yung project A. Let's say, 50-50 yung binigay natin for that one. So, this is mainly for reporting. Okay? And then, ito naman, nagastos niya, specific for the administrative. And then, from here, what we can do next is to post it. Okay? So, for this posting, makikita naman natin dito sa journal items again. Okay, yung breakdown. Pag dumiretso tayo sa ating partner, group by natin by partner, makikita natin yung breakdown nung nagastos for that petty cash. So, 4,000, yung kanina, 4,000 credit, 4,000 debit. And then, ngayon yung breakdown ng from petty cash to different accounts like meal allowance and then other allowance. So that's the first way of doing it in terms of petty cash handling in the Philippines. Again, this process usually would fit yung mga accountants natin kasi mas gusto nila na mabilisan lang and then nakikita nila sa iisang view lang lahat ng kailangan nilang i-process. And then mas gusto rin nila makita lahat ng naka-indicate dun sa petty cash journal nila typically. Okay, in one go. Okay, so that's about it for our first way of handling it. Yung ikalawang way naman is this. Okay? Same process pa rin yung umpisa. Meron ka pa rin petty cash voucher system wherein you can ask for approval for your petty cash request. But then, ang handling niya sa accounting is meron tayong suspense account na petty cash. So, for this case, again, this is also applied for some of my clients in the Philippines. Yung isa, most of the clients in the Philippines prefer that one, especially kung accountant yung kumakausap sa amin or nasa accounting side yung kumakausap sa amin. Ito naman is na-apply din siya for a couple of our clients din sa Pilipinas. So, yung unang step is the same. Basically, mag-request ng petty cash voucher for employee C again. We can select the date and then sino yung contact. In this case, what we can do is we can also indicate the amount. So in this case, it's 4,000 again. And then submit it directly to Ananda. Okay? So keep in mind, itong view natin ngayon is I'm just showing you one view. Multiple views, of course, for different employees. Pwede natin gawin for our internal users. So once we submit this one, this will be approved. And then, kay accounting na tayo papasok ulit ngayon. So, si accounting, ang recording naman niya sa petty cash would look like this. So, this will be the configuration. You do have a cash account. Dito, ang sinetup ko sa cash account is the bank. But you can also select this as cash. And then, we do have the suspense account for petty cash and then some profit account. And then some recording then dun sa outstanding receipt accounts which I inallot ko na rin siya sa petty cash account natin. Okay? So from here, what we can do next is basically record the transaction. So in this case, I'll just record the new transaction. Basically, magbabawas ako ng pera sa bangko na 4,000 from that request ng petty cash. And then, i-indicate ko kay employee C siya napunta for his trip to Batanes. Okay. From here, we can save and close this one. Okay. And then, pwede nating antayin yung resibo. Pwede natin again i-record from the approvals app dun sa ating nagawa ng petty cash voucher beforehand. So, in this case, pwede nilang ilagay dun sa petty cash voucher na na-approve na. Or pwede rin nating idikit directly dun sa transaction siya. Okay. So, let me just put down this one. Okay. So, from here, paano naman kung dun natin siya ilalagay sa transaction? Okay. In this case, what we can do is let's go back to the accounting. Okay. We can reconcile the items. Okay. And then, we can manually input kung saan mapupunta yung pera. Okay? Kung saan ginamit yung ating petty cash. Okay? So, in this case, yung 4,000, kung i-reconcile natin siya, pwede natin piliin kung saan siya papasok na account. So, in this case, meal allowance natin, ang ginastos natin is 2,500. Okay? So, pwede ko ilagay yung employee C, and then I can also, again, select the analytic account for it. So, let's use administrative, and then pwede din natin dito idikit yung mismong resibo, if in case. So, pwede tayo mag-attach ng resibo in this one. Okay. And then, as you can see, may remaining pa tayo na 1,500. So, pwede natin ilagay din yung remaining from the dun sa isang allowance type pa. Okay. And then, we can just validate that one. Again, ilalagay ko siya sa administrative just to see yung reporting ko for the cost center. In this case, once I do that, I'll just validate this one. Ang difference is that kanina, makikita natin yung movement ng petty cash. But in this case, since ang petty cash account natin is more of suspense siya, makikita lang natin yung, wait, i-group natin siya together para makita nyo clearer. Makikita lang natin yung bank and directly to the meal allowance and other allowance. So, for the client na gumamit nito before, ang preference niya kasi is gusto lang niya makita kung may pera pa yung petty cash account nila. And then, hindi necessary sa kanya na ma-monitor fully kung ano yung naging process ng petty cash. More of gusto lang niya makita kung saan na napunta yung pera na nilabas nila before. And directly to dun sa pinanggalingan ng petty cash money nila. Okay. So, again, we do have the reporting. Of course, we do have standard reporting naman in the system. Ang gusto ko lang ipakita na idadagdag ko dito is we do have the analytic accounting then. So, sa analytic accounts natin, malalagay lahat ng records ng expenses. So, if this is related to a project or related to administrative costs and iba-iba yung mga departmental cost centers mo, you can make use of this analytic account for that one. Okay? Okay. So, yung dalawang pinakita kong ways, again, just to highlight, is more of na-encounter namin dito sa Odoo APAC for Philippine clients. Pero, kung makikita nyo, kapag nag-check na kayo online, marami ring ways on how to manage petty cash accounting. Depende yon sa kung paano nyo talaga siya hinahandle sa inyong operations. Okay, so yung iba gusto nila nakikita, minamatch ka agad sa vendor bills, etc. So that one, we can actually discuss it in detail. You can always email me for that one para matulungan ko kayo kung paano natin ipa-process map yung actual process nyo into Odoo. Okay? So now, let's move back to the presentation. Okay. So to summarize, in terms of petty cash accounting, how do we manage it in Odoo? Una, ini-incorporate natin ang approval process and receipt checks using the approval app, and pwede rin natin gamitin directly yung nasa accounting records natin through the discuss or chatter box natin dun sa transaction na yon. Ikalawa, we can do reconciliation faster kasi pwede na nating maselect kaagad yung mga accounts na open balances pa. If the case is yung ibabangga natin siya dun sa mga vendor bills natin later on, pwede natin gawin yung reconciliation process for it. In terms of manual operations naman, mas mapapadali din nating ma-search kaagad yung mga accounts na paggagamitan natin or paglalagyan natin nung ginamit natin na petty cash account. Okay? And lastly, one of my favorites is actually analytic accounting. We can incorporate it to monitor expenses related to projects. This is especially important kapag sinesegment nyo, let's say, sa company nyo, iisa yung book nyo, pero may multiple smaller businesses ka, and then you want to see yung performance per business. So, kung ginamitan mo ng petty cash accounting yung isang business mo, gusto mo naka-allocate lang to that one business, makita mo yung reporting nun, pwede natin siyang gawin through Odoo Accounting. Okay. We can discuss naman the common issues that we encounter. Typically, we do experience this in the Philippines. Again, minsan mag-i-issue tayo ng petty cash sa ating mga empleyado, pero yung mga resibo nakakalimutan nilang isole or nawawala siya, or even mga disasters nga minsan, kung naka-on paper ka lahat, minsan hindi mo siya ma-retrieve. Okay? So that's basically missing receipts or hindi na mismatch din. Gets difficult to keep track of redundant records. That's the reason why yung unang process na pinakita ko sa inyo, mas preferred siya ng mga accounting professionals sa Philippines, kasi mas gusto talaga nila nakikita bit by bit yung proseso ng pag-manage ng petty cash na in-issue sa kumpanya. So, mas madali for them to monitor kung may mga redundancy ba, kung nagamit ba properly yung petty cash, kung may sinoli bang pera sa kanila, or may mga hindi nagamit and then hindi sinole. Approval process can be difficult if done manually. So, especially in the case ngayon, let's say kung may mga field service staff ka or they're working remotely, kailangan pang antayin yung pagpunta nila sa opisina just to get a petty cash voucher paper, or para maibigay nila sa'yo, or even kalat-kalat yan. Minsan Viber mo kausap, minsan WhatsApp mo kausap, minsan hindi centralized yung communication channel. So, hindi nila alam kung saan ipapasa yung mga voucher records nila. And lastly, it can take time to do manual calculations. So this is usually the reason why clients naman go to accounting software, which is Odoo in this case. Okay, so now we're done with the demo. We're also done with discussing about the petty cash. Now it's time for the Q&A session. So I'll take some questions. Feel free to put it on the chat box. Okay, let me see. Approval apps, available siya sa enterprise version ni Odoo. Okay. Now, okay. Let me just double check. Pwede natin siyang dun sa from Jeff Guevara. What if hindi naubos yung petty cash? What is the process kung ibabalik niya yung pera or natira? Pwede natin siyang manually i-record yung journal entry kung gusto natin siyang ibalik dun sa cash journal natin. We have a way to do that. Parang yung naging proseso nung unang process na pinakita ko sa inyo. Okay? Okay. Okay. So, kay Celeste Panlilio, just thinking about Odoo Expenses app, also has reimbursement approvers, attach official receipt image. Can we just set the GL account for petty cash? Which is best to use? Thanks and God bless. God bless din po. Basically for Odoo Expenses app, okay, so nire-recommend namin siya for some of our clients. Again, this solely depends kung paano nyo talaga siya pinaprocess sa side niyo. Minsan effective sa kanila yon, minsan mas effective yung approvals app. Dun sa expenses app, kasi may additional stage ka na kailangan gawin, like for example, selection nung journal, yung payment journal na ipaprocess mo, and then you also do have a lot of fields na kailangan i-fill out doon. And usually depende siya sa perspective. For accounting professionals na na-encounter ko for different businesses in the Philippines, mas preferred talaga nila siya gawin na diretsahan manually. But if in case na gusto mo makita yung expenses flow, with the petty cash process, you can email me and then we can set a meeting to discuss that one. Okay. Okay. Sige. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. So, there you go. Okay. So, yung outstanding balance ng petty cash fund, we can actually check it dun sa either sa general, pwede natin siya makita sa general ledger, pwede mo rin siya makita sa balance sheet. Okay, so pwede mo siya makita, lalabas dun yung record natin for the, let me just get back. Check ko lang ha. Okay. So for the accounting, say meron akong process, siguro gamitin natin yung first process kanina. Okay. So, pag gumawa ko ng bagong transactions right here, say nag-issue ako ng negative 400 for a specific kay employee C for trip. So, pag i-reconcile ko siya, let's say makikita ko siya dito sa record natin ng, okay, if we check the balance sheets, tignan natin kung nandito siya. Ayan siya. Dito yung available na amount sa petty cash. This is for dun sa second flow na pinakita natin kanina. So, pwede mo siya makita sa balance sheets. Pwede mo rin siya makita sa ledger. And then, pwede mo rin actually siya makita basta dun sa journal mismo. Journal records natin mismo. Okay. Yung, actually yung second, sorry, let me double check ha. Where we can, outstanding balance of the petty cash fund, okay. We're to create the template in the approval and accounting. So templates, basically, you can just do the configuration. May mga features tayo na available, may mga videos tayo available to set that up. And then, you can also just look at the configuration sa settings part natin. Okay. How do you record cash advances? Jack Vinluan, actually, yung recording ng cash advances, pretty similar to this one. Kasi yung pangalawa, na pinakita ko, that's actually based on a client na gusto niyang i-set up yung cash advance. So, yun yung cash advance and petty cash. And then that flow worked for them. So, basically, it's gonna be the same flow for cash advances. Do you have trainings on site that can assist system migration? You can email me and then we can discuss this one further. No, so you have actually you have multiple options for trainings. Pagdating sa system migration natin, if you're planning to migrate from one system to Odoo, we can discuss that in detail. You can email me for that one. How much is the system itself? So we do have a pricing online available. So naka-indicate doon yung pricing ni Odoo. Ang maximum price ni Odoo currently for new users is, if I remember correctly, 13.6, I think, for the monthly one. Okay? But that one you can email me and then we can discuss further yung pricing part para ma-discuss ko sa inyo in detail kung ano yung kasama doon. Okay? Do you have, sorry, let me just move back. Okay. Okay. Do you have tutorials for the bosses, like what benefits they will get if they use Odoo? Definitely. So you can always message me naman via email at mlh@odoo.com. And then I can also type let me just type my Viber. So, pwede nyo rin akong i-message via Viber at this number. Okay. 852-5499-3404. We can discuss this in detail para mapakita ko sa inyo kung paano pwedeng gamitin si Odoo for your operations. Okay, and then, yeah, kung gusto nyo i-discuss how much it is. Is Odoo, Open ERP version 6? Yes. Basically, if you want to move, nasa ano na kasi tayo ngayon, actually, kung 6 kayo, 16 na tayo ngayon. So, 10 versions na tayo yung lumipas. But we can discuss this in detail if you want. Again, you can message me para pwede nating i-discuss in detail. Maraming nag-move from past versions ni Odoo, by the way. Common siya, especially sa Philippines, na may mga gantong cases. And it's possible. Pwede natin pag-usapan. Okay. So for you guys, thank you so much for attending this session together with me again. Again, my name is Ananda Mandalihan, your resident business advisor from Odoo Asia Pacific. Siyempre, 200% Pinoy. If in case may questions kayo related to Philippine accounting or if, related to any concerns about Odoo, or if you're interested to move your ERP to Odoo, or if this is your first time looking for an ERP, please feel free to message me at mlh@odoo.com or via Viber or WhatsApp at +852-5499-3404. Again, thank you so much everyone at magandang hapon.